Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
What's going on, Fantasy Champs?
What's up?
My name's Morgan Colby. I got Rick Lemon with me as always. What's poppin', Rick?
What's up? What's up?
I'm getting tired already. Patriots,
tired?
Man, I think it's 5 straight primetime games.
Is it?
No, 4.
Oh my gosh. Still.
Vikings, Bills again.
Yeah.
Then they
Why
got
is Arizona
Arizona on Monday.
That's such a bad.
And then they got Raiders the following week.
That one at least somewhat makes sense because it's the
It's
McDaniels
wild.
thing.
And I'm done. I want my 1 o'clocks back, even though I was so existentially blessed with the 1 o'clocks for like 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyway, we got the Bills. We got the Patriots this week. We're going to break down the Week 13 Thursday night football game, otherwise known as the Thursday night football preview, fantasy football preview for Week 13. I had Thanksgiving preview still in the show notes. Didn't even ask on the last show. How was your Thanksgiving,
take that out.
friend?
Oh, it was pretty good. Ate a lot of food. Didn't really do anything crazy. How about you?
Same thing.
Okay,
Football.
well, there you go.
Football. Ate and watched football and drove around to people's houses. I went to my parents' house, and then we went to my wife's parents' or grandparents' house, and then I left from there to go back to my parents' house to watch the Patriots game. So I was all over the place. When I was a kid, my parents hosted Thanksgiving when I was a kid. So since I've been married, driving around on holidays, kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's how it is. Like when I was little, all my cousins were just there. And now it's like maybe they'll show up, maybe they won't. If they do, it's for like an hour and then they dip. And it's like, I don't know. It's all different, man.
But anyway, we are going to talk about this Thursday night football game. Can you kindly look up the over-under because I didn't put it in the sheet?
Okay.
Before we jump into Thursday night preview, check our website, fantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platforms, please leave a review and share this podcast with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, like, and comment down below any questions you may have. And let's jump into the Thursday night preview. Rick, you had a what were you going to say?
No, I was just saying to say that I don't know what what the over under is.
Google.
But yeah, I'm googling it. I'm pulling it. I'm actually gonna pull it up on DraftKings because I'm interested in.
And for the first time ever, this episode is brought to you by DraftKings.
Yeah. So the over under is right now 43.5, which is actually a little high. Well, I guess not because the Bills. I was gonna say it's a little higher than I thought, but it's
like 30-10. What's the line? 5.5?
Yeah, 30-10. Patriots.
The line's 5.5, right?
Let me double check. I just had it. Yep. No, it's 5. Right.
Oh, it went
Those
down?
are 5-point favorite.
This morning it was 5.5.
That's not that huge. That's
1 touchdown.
It's less than a touchdown.
All right. So we got Bills at Patriots. Foxborough Stadium, right down the street from my freaking house.
Gillette.
I wasn't even like my brain
crazy.
wasn't even functioning when it was Foxborough Stadium. I don't know why I keep calling it that. It's been like 25 years.
Even alive? When did it be? Well, yeah. When did it become Gillette? It wasn't sometime in the 90s.
2002.
I think.
No, it was 2002.
Now we need a history lesson.
Because they had 2001, they won the Super Bowl, but their last season was in Foxborough Stadium. But it's Gillette, so I need to get that on my head. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's ridiculous. It's because Foxborough's the town that it's in, which is wild because I don't know of any football stadium that's not in. What is the Giants stadium is in New Jersey, but it's in a weird town. Giants and Jets. It's like right across from New York. You can see from the stadium, you can see the New York City skyline, but their stadium is actually in New Jersey. But I don't know where in New Jersey it is. It looks like I lost Rick. Of course. Well, I'll continue the show without him because that's what we do. The Patriots have a 43. It was a 43.5 point over under. The Bills are at Gillette Stadium, which is the correct location. And I will try to get Rick back. But we'll jump into breaking down this game. We talked about these two teams on Thanksgiving, and I think the Bills played the Lions last week, and the Patriots played the Vikings. So they come into this week. It's not like a normal Thursday night football game. So typically you have the two football teams. They play on Sunday and then they play 4 days later, and it's like on a short week or on a shortened week. And this particular week, obviously, the Bills and the Patriots played on Thursday, so they're coming in with a full week of prep, a full week of rest. It's like a normal Sunday game for both of these teams, so they should be fine for the most part. But we will jump into this once I get Rick back. Looks like his computer's back on, so I'm going to invite him and let him in. But we'll jump right into this, starting with the Buffalo Bills and starting with their quarterback. Maybe we should start with the Patriots. I'll wait till Rick gets in because we might want to start with the Patriots, considering that the Buffalo Bills have the best roster. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on? My internet just shut down.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
All right, we good. Anyway, let's fix whatever's going on here. I just rambled for about 6 minutes waiting for you to restart whatever was going on with your computer.
I think my whole Wi-Fi just shut off and back on.
What the frick?
But I'm back. What were you talking about, bro?
I was talking about how both teams have 7 days rest, so this should be like a normal football game and not like a crappy Thursday night football game.
Oh, true. That's good.
Yeah.
That's
so,
are you saying I need to gamble on the over?
Yeah, maybe.
I actually might.
Or this could be the under.
Bills defense is injured, and then Josh Allen has kind of torched the Pats last couple of years, or at least last year. Year and a half.
You think the Patriots score 20, Bills score 30, and we get over this 43.5?
I think it's possible.
All right. Possible. So I was going to say, should we start with the Patriots because they're sucky?
Do we usually start with the home or the away team?
No, we start with the away team, and I feel like we should end the show with the Bills.
Okay, then let's just get the Pats out of the way.
All right, let's do that. All right, let's jump into. I already have the Bills depth chart open, but let's start with the New England Patriots. Patriots went into this game after a huge loss against the Minnesota Vikings. It kind of sets their season back massively, so they got to win some pretty big games down the stretch to make the playoffs. But offense showed signs of life. I remember talking about this offense last Thursday, and we were like, done. They scored 3 points against the Jets, and Mac Jones wasn't looking good. The only good part of this offense was Ramondre. So in this conversation, we'll see if anything changes.
Yeah, I did say going into the week I liked their offense a little bit more than because they go from playing, in my opinion, a good defense to an average at best defense.
Fair enough. So number one, QB1 of my heart, Mac Jones. The Mac Jones truther.
He's more like the MVP of the league.
Now, normally, as a fan of a football team in the NFL, I like Mac Jones because of him being on the Patriots. That's what a lot of Patriots fans would feel. I liked him prior to that. If he went to the 49ers, my drawers would be on the floor.
Yeah, you did like him.
Just as equally. So I love Mac Jones regardless. I'm a truther regardless of where he is. But either way, he's on my football team, so I'll take it. Either way, Mac Jones, what did he have, 24 fantasy points this week? 23?
I think 23, because in a 5-point touchdown, he had 25.
Okay, so he had a very good week. 382 yards, 2 touchdowns against Minnesota. This, Buffalo defense is going to be much more challenging. When they face good defensive fronts, they've seemed to struggle for the most part. and have a tough time against that, especially when there's a good pass rush. I don't know where Buffalo's at in terms of pass rush in their front seven right now. They lost Von Miller. I know that much, which is, I think, a big loss for them.
It is a big loss.
I don't know. I think they're still going to be able to get to Mac Jones, which, if that's the case, I think the offense, I would be if they can get to Mac Jones and force him to get stressed out and throw the ball all over the place, the Patriots will probably only score like 10 points on the offensive side of the ball. So their success is tied to that. Buffalo's a good defense. So even though Mac Jones had a good week this week, I think if you wanted to stream him, this would be a week where you're going to say no. But prior to last week, Mac Jones wasn't even in the stream conversation, and now he's
which is hard to do because you have to be like the bottom tier to not even be in the stream conversation.
But with these bad defensive fronts coming up against Arizona, against
the Raiders,
even Cincinnati.
One of the worst defenses in the league.
Cincinnati has Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard, so that they're not horrible pass rush wise, but they're still not the Jets.
That Raiders game, dude, week 15 is going to be a shootout.
Oh, I hope so. But either way, you have Mac Jones. You're not starting him this week, correct?
Oh, no, definitely not.
Yeah, me neither. So we can move forward. But he is kind of the cog that's going to make this offense successful. And so,
right, and he's at least potentially streamable in a couple weeks coming up.
Yeah. Damian Harris, I don't know what the situation is with his injury. He did leave the game on Thursday night last week. Hurt.
He did not practice on Monday.
Which is
not a good sign.
Not a good sign. I believe the Monday, I'm not entirely sure because of the way that the week is set up at this point. They practiced on Sunday. So I don't know if they did a real practice today, but usually the Monday practice after Sunday is not an actual practice.
Yeah, I think that today was a real practice. So usually teams that play on Thursday night practice on Monday, right? They have a real practice on Monday when they play on Thursday.
They usually take Monday to work, game plan, set everything up, and then practice.
Oh, that's true. But they played this Thursday, so I don't know.
Yeah. So they did practice Sunday. They might have practiced Monday. I didn't look at the practice, like the reports or any of the stuff out of the beat reporters. So if he did not practice today, I have a hard time believing that he's going to play on Thursday.
The report says still not practicing. So I'm assuming he didn't practice Sunday and then didn't practice Monday.
So this would be his Thursday. So tomorrow, Tuesday, the show goes out on Wednesday.
Right.
Check your phones. You'll know.
Yeah, he'll know.
But I don't want to go with Damian Harris in this game against Buffalo. The only running back for the Pats, Ramondre.
Right. And at this point, Ramondre, to do a nice little transition there, is kind of startable no matter what, right?
Yeah, at this point. What has he been since taking over the job? Really top 10?
Yeah, he's actually, I think he's been top 5. Since week 3, I think he's been a top 5 running back, but I'll have to double check.
Week 3? Let me pull up the numbers. I got them right in front of me.
Yeah, from week 3 to now.
Week 3 to now in PPR, Ramondre it doesn't even matter. Week 1 to 12, he's top 8. Week 3 to 12, he's top 5.
Yep.
It feels weird.
Doesn't it?
It feels really weird. Like, I feels like I shouldn't be saying that. But if Mondre is top 5, then you should be starting him.
Right. I think rest of the season rankings, they I don't know what it is right now because it's updated from this past week, but I want to say he's running back 12. So if you have a top 12 running back, you're starting him around.
Okay. I'm with you on that. And as far as expectations in this game goes, I do feel like Ramondre is going to be a tough.
A little bit, but you know what, dude? Like,
game, but
it doesn't really matter because he's consistently getting like 6 catches a game.
Right.
He had 10 targets this week. 10 targets, 9 catches for 76 yards.
Freaking wild.
He's getting like a McCaffrey level receiving work. So even if he gets, like this week, he had 7 carries for 30 yards, which is nothing, but he had 20 fantasy points.
Wow. Well, there you go. I would start Ramondre Stevenson with comfort.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers continue even after Thursday night. I feel like Myers continues to be the only wide receiver that you can reliably trust on on a week-to-week basis. He still hasn't even been good the last couple weeks. But in this past game, he only had like 9 fantasy points, I believe. So he didn't do anything really super impressive as they were funneling the ball to, I think it was Aguilar and Hunter Henry in the game for the most part. So, but I don't want to start Parker, Aguilar, Taekwon, Kendrick Bourne, any of those guys. Myers is really the only guy that I would consider in this spot against Buffalo. Mac Jones is probably going to be trying to find a guy underneath a lot in this game.
Yeah.
And Myers is going to be there for him. So,
before I talk about the receivers, I don't know if this even is really breaking news because this guy's kind of washed. But Melvin Gordon signed with the Chiefs. So, I don't know if that has any fantasy relevance.
Is he on the waiver wire?
He might be.
No,
I wouldn't.
Sam didn't draw.
To be honest, I wouldn't pick him up. I think he's washed. They like Pacheco. He would just be like in the room, I guess. I don't think he's going to have really any fantasy role. But back to the Patriots and Thursday Night Football. I do agree. I think Myers is the best start. He has kind of been underwhelming the last couple of weeks. 7, 9, and 9 points. But he had 9 fantasy points this week, only playing a 29% snap percentage.
Right.
So that's pretty good. Prior to this little stretch, he had double-digit fantasy points in every game he's played. So if you are going to start a guy, I think Myers is a good bet. I actually like Myers too because I do think this will be maybe not a shootout. It's not going to be a high-scoring game, but there will be points on the board. It's not going to be like the 3-10 game against the Jets.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that the Patriots might be playing from behind. So I could see a lot of passing in this game, and maybe Jacoby Myers, especially another thing with Damian Harris out and with Ramondre being like the only running back, the Patriots could throw the ball like 40 times this week. So I do like Myers a lot, actually. But yeah, I'm not trying to start Nelson Aguilar. I know he had a good week. I'm not trying to start Parker. I'm not trying to start Kendrick Bourne. They're all kind of whatever. Taekwon Thornton, they're all in the mix. But Myers is the only guy that you would probably consider starting.
Agreed. Hunter Henry is the only tight end I would consider in this spot, and like I said on the waiver wire show earlier this week, definitely worth a pickup, definitely worth a roster. This is a game I want to watch and see, so I wouldn't start Hunter Henry.
I wouldn't start him either. But I think if you're desperate, I'd be okay with it because, like I said, I do think this could be at least a high volume passing game for the Pats. So Hunter Henry could be involved, but I wouldn't start him either. I would wait another week unless you're desperate.
Okay. Let's move to the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills. They have a good quarterback.
Yeah, especially for fantasy.
Josh Allen?
QB2.
Wow.
Gonna end the streak, though. QB1, I think.
Yeah, he might. Jalen Hurts.
I think it's Mahomes.
Is it Mahomes?
Yep, it's Mahomes.
Wow.
Oh.
Here we go again. No, but Josh Allen, really good. New England is kind of interesting because they know that they needed to get faster in the offseason to stop this kid. And they did try to do that, but they still, I don't think, are there yet. And they have a tough time against quarterbacks that can rush. We've seen that with Lamar Jackson, who dropped 45 on them in week 3. And it's going to be a tough week for the Patriots stopping Josh Allen. Allen has not been great, by the way, over the last couple weeks in real life. And he's thrown a lot of interceptions, but this could be a game where he gets upwards of like 50 to 60 rushing yards and does really, really good work in this game. So I am safely starting him. Obviously, he's a QB2, but as far as what I think he's going to do in this game, this is going to be a 30-plus point game for him.
Yeah, I agree. Josh Allen has had his struggles against the Patriots, especially early in his career. But I went back and looked at the last 2 seasons in the games that he played in Gillette, which this week will be in Gillette. In 2020, the Cam Newton year, Josh Allen had 4 touchdowns, 320 yards, 27 of 36, so went ridiculous. And then last year in New England, 4 touchdowns, 320 yards.
Nuclear.
Oh, wait, sorry. I was looking at the... He had 3 touchdowns, 330 14 yards, so a little worse, but he had 64 rushing yards. So he had almost 400 total yards with 3 touchdowns and 30 of 47. So destroyed him in both those games in New England. It seems like he likes playing in Gillette in prime time, so that's kind of makes me nervous. But he has been struggling, has been turning the ball over, and the Patriots defense has caused a lot of turnovers this year. I think they're number one, or they're up there in the league in turnovers and sacks. They're in the top 3 or 4, I think, in a lot of those statistical categories. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. You obviously, if you have Josh Allen, though, you start him no matter who he plays. But it's going to be interesting to see kind of which side wins that battle this week.
Okay. Running back position, I wouldn't really consider anyone else besides Devin Singletary. New England has had a really good rush attack a really good run-stopping attack this year. Dalvin Cook had a tough game this week. The Patriots, so far through 12 weeks, are the second toughest matchup for running backs in fantasy football with 14.2 points per game. So this should be a really tough game for the Buffalo Bills in terms of their rushing game. And so I would sit Devin Singletary on this week against New England.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't start him either, but
bite the bullet if you've been relying on Devin Singletary as your RB2.
Well, so like if you have Singletary and you've been starting him as your RB2, do you have a good? Because if you have a good RB3 that's like right there with Singletary, then yeah, I would consider benching him as well. But you might not have that option.
Yeah, that's fair. I would still bench him.
Fair enough.
All right, any other running backs you want to talk about?
No, James Cook's not relevant.
Yeah. Wide receivers in this game. Interesting, because I do think there's going to be a lot of fantasy points for Josh Allen. But the Patriots have only given up 24 points a game, which is their top 6 tough matchup for wide receivers. So we'll see how the balance of things goes. But obviously Diggs has got to be an up, and I would say McKenzie is definitely a down. Gabe Davis is kind of in the middle for me. Like, if you have to start him, but if you have another guy who has a better matchup, start him over Gabe Davis.
That's kind of how it's been all year, isn't it?
Yes.
Diggs, you start no matter what. Gabe Davis is iffy, and then
McKenzie's a deeper.
Yeah,
play.
This is tough, dude. Like, the way I look at it, though, how much different is the Bills and Vikings offense in terms of not in terms of how they play or anything like that, but just like, I guess, skill and talent and what can they put up on a given week,
earlier in the season? I would have said leaps and bounds. Even like the early season Bills compared to what the Vikings are now, like I would still take that. I would obviously take that Bills team because that was elite.
Right.
This current version of the offense that has not been as efficient as they have been in the last year and a half, is kind of even with the Vikings.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But that being said, the Vikings put like 28 because they had the kickoff return, but they still would have scored 26. High 20s in points. Mm-hmm. Right. I think that's kind of what the Bills are probably going to do. Like, let's say they score 28 points, which is about what the Vikings did.
Yeah.
27 points. You probably would think Diggs has a good game, and maybe Gabe Davis also has a good game. Right.
Right.
So I would definitely start Diggs for sure. And then
Diggs
I'm not starting Gabe Davis to start him. Like, if you've got a good team and you can put him on your bench, But I do think he could be a good flex this week. It's been 2 weeks without touchdown, and it's Gabe Davis. So you know it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It might be this week.
Could be this week. What are you doing with Dawson Knox?
I'm not starting him. That's for sure.
All right. See you later, guys.
But, yeah, man, I've been kind of out on him. He had a couple of nice weeks there. Looked like he was maybe building a stretch to do something, but this week only had 2 targets, and it's just, I don't know. He's not as involved in the offense as I thought they would make him, but
yeah. I would be out on Dawson Knox for this week too. I'd sit him down, especially against New England. There could be an opportunity where Dawson Knox, like it seems when Josh Allen plays New England, if the Patriots do take away, which I don't think they're taking away Diggs, but if they do take away Diggs, guys like Gabe Davis and like Dawson Knox tend to be open in other areas of the field, and Josh Allen tends to take advantage of that. And so if that is the case, counterintuitive to my argument about Gabe Davis, that might be a good game for Dawson Knox for Gabe Davis, but I'm not excited about it. And you know what? There's always a sleep game, and right now the Patriots are just not looked at in the same light as they were in years past. And do you think the Bills, like, they had all of those years where Tom Brady and the New England Patriots ripped their drawers off? So many times. The Bills were horrible. Do you think they still have that same satisfaction from beating the New England Patriots after all those years?
I don't think it's what it was like when they beat us 2 years ago, like 2020.
Yeah.
Or even last year as much. But I think now it's more about like it's just an important game. I think it's more like it's a divisional game they're right now behind the Dolphins, like they have to win.
They absolutely freaking crapped on New England last time they played. Like the Bills have not punted in 2 straight performances against the Patriots. And
that is true. I forgot about the playoff game too.
Yeah, the playoff game was horrible. But like, I think the Bills and the Bills fans and that organization take solace in the fact that they smoked us in the playoffs. And
the organization.
That's vengeance.
Maybe the fans.
Do you think that this is a game where Josh Allen could fall asleep at the wheel? Like one of those games that the Bills typically have where they just like it's a primetime game, so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I don't think it is because if it was a 1 o'clock game, like he falls asleep at the wheel against the Browns, he'll do it against the Lions. Mm-hmm. I don't think he does it in a primetime against the Patriots.
Okay, fair enough. With that being said, I don't think Dawson Knox is all that bad of a play. Now that I talked myself out of it. But I would definitely choose other guys over Knox, over Gabe Davis, over Isaiah McKenzie.
Would you say Gabe Davis is like a top 24 option this week?
No.
Okay. Top 30?
Yeah.
Okay. So so that's like a flex though.
Yeah, that could be a flex. But anyway, there's your Thursday night football game. Bills at Patriots, big divisional matchup. Who gets the dub?
I'm gonna pick the Bills.
I'm gonna pick the Bills too. I'm gonna pick the Bills by 10. So I'm taking the over.
By 10, I'm taking the over. I think it's gonna be a close game though.
Okay.
1-score game, but the Bills win.
All right. See you later this week, guys. Bye.
See you.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube and follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps.